sit down on time. Maxton Hall. Oh my goodness, we need to speak about Maxton Hall. So it's Prime's #1 at the moment, and it's amazing because it's actually originally in a different language, in German, and the actors, they convey the emotions so well. So if you're watching it with the subtitles, you truly feel the passion in the way they deliver the script. But on top of that, they do have an English dubbed version where you can actually just listen to it with an English voiceover. They really did well with that as well, so no complaints either way that you watch it, but they did such a good job. I honestly was nail biting watching it from like start to finish non-stop. It's so good. For those of you wondering, what is Maxton Hall? It is based off the book series called Save Me, and that essentially follows how this girl called Ruby Bell enters this prestigious school called Maxton Hall. This is her gateway to Oxford. She has this lifelong dream of going to Oxford. Maxton Hall, she is there purely out of scholarship and her academic merit. And in this world of Maxton Hall, you have the prestigious, the elite, and she very much enjoys being invisible.
This is your official spoiler warning. The content ahead has spoilers.
I'm going to read points because I'm struggling to look at the lens and not lose my focus, because whether we like it or not, you guys are watching the videos, I'm looking at the camera, so I'm just going to read my points. Save Me takes place in the exclusive and prestigious Maxton Hall, a school where wealth, social status, family legacy play a huge role in shaping the students' lives. Ruby, the protagonist, is thrust into this world as an outsider, trying to navigate the pressure and complexities that come with being in this environment, where everything, including relationships and reputation, is interconnected. At the heart of the story, Ruby struggles to find herself, understanding her place at Maxton Hall, while uncovering the secrets that surround the wealthy families out of the school, particularly the Beaufort family. So let's speak about the protagonists, because obviously the season is covering the storyline of mostly Ruby and James and the tensions they face, but also the Beaufort family and just the different worlds that Ruby and James have and how they collide. So Ruby is obviously very determined, she's very independent, very hyper-focused. She has her goal of going to Oxford. She's the first in her family to make it out to university, and for her, she really struggles with water, and she has this heavy guilt surrounding her life because her dad got into a wheelchair after an accident where she fell into the water not knowing how to swim. He tried to save her, was hit by a boat, but again, I've given you guys the spoilers, but this is a very key part of her because this really motivates her to try and do better, not just for herself but for her family. Now, she ends up having this love-hate relationship with James. Initially, her and James do not get on. They actually clash on a lot of different topics, but they end up having that passion, that tension change into chemistry, and then you just see the sparks, the romantic build-up, and how through each of their vulnerability they find a way to love and support each other, and it ends up being this really beautiful kind of development. Let's talk about James. James is one of the Beaufort twins and a central character to Ruby's story. His connection to Ruby starts as a complicated friendship that evolves into something deeper. However, his role, the wealthy Beaufort family, comes with complications and conflicts that challenge both him and Ruby as their relationship grows. So the Beaufort family, known for their wealth and influence, plays a major role in social dynamics of Maxton Hall. James's twin sister and other family members contribute to the tension surrounding Ruby, making her involvement with James even more dangerous. Oh yeah, the Beaufort family, they are not giving Ruby and James any time of day. They're making that as difficult as possible. We really want it to be this nice happy love story where they find each other and everything blossoms. However, the storyline wouldn't be very interesting, nor would you see the development of the characters within these challenging times. So through these different challenges, we can actually witness the growth and character development of both James and Ruby and surrounding characters like his twin sister. I'm going to talk about season 1 now, and then afterwards I'm going to go into my predictions for season 2. So obviously season 1 covers the first book, and the main story follows Ruby's struggles at Maxton Hall. So Ruby's journey is one of self-discovery and survival. She's navigating a school where power, wealth and legacy govern everything. Her outsider status makes her an easy target, but as soon as she learns to leverage her own strength, life becomes a bit easier. The relationship with James. Ruby and James' relationship is the main focal point in season 1. Their connection grows and is a mixture of trust, vulnerability and attraction, and their relationship is constantly being tested, both by secrets, by drama, the social pressure, and just everything. And they seem to be overcoming that bit by bit as both of their characters develop. However, family secrets and power dynamics, a key element of Save Me, and obviously what they've labelled Maxton Hall, is the fact that there is tension between family legacy and personal freedom. James' ties to his family, particularly his twin sister, create ongoing challenges for both him and Ruby. So for James, he has a very good connection with his twin sister. Naturally, as you would expect with twins, they are very close, and despite whatever tensions their father places on them, they still have this underlying loyalty to one another, and they really do love and care for each other. So when his dad puts pressure on James about Ruby that could impact his sister, he's sort of stuck between two people he loves. So then Ruby also has her own past to reckon with, as the two characters are constantly drawn into this complex web of power, secrecy and social status. And essentially that's the challenge. That's the main idea of the story, is that they're supposed to find themselves, find what makes them happy, as well as doing the right thing and not letting others down. Hi. And then we're left with season 1's cliffhanger. I don't know if I should tell you because I really want you to watch it. This is massive spoiler alert. Please skip a little bit ahead, like 10 seconds, please, from right now. At the end of season 1, the cliffhanger is that the twins' mom dies. It's so sad. It's really sad. And obviously that means there is this massive emotional fallout for them as a family, and there is this new set of emotional struggles that the twins have to face. This means that Ruby and James's relationship is going to have to face significant challenges, more so than they already have had to face, on top of the fact that we've got Lydia's pregnancy. And essentially the tension around their romance combined with the looming presence of family secrets, and yeah, it just sets the stage for season 2. So let's go into my predictions for season 2. What to expect in season 2 based off the book Save Me. So the biggest thing I think that we need to watch out for is there's going to be some major issues that go on between Ruby and James, because James is going to really be struggling with the emotional turmoil of losing his mum, and he might go out and make a drunken mistake, to which Ruby then, obviously being the self-respecting girl that she is and having the moral standard that she does, she's not going to tolerate it. So I don't know what creative liberties the directors are going to take, because they do have creative rights, so they might alter the story differently, but I do think they are going to play on the fact that James does make this emotional and drunk mistake.
If anyone else has seen any of these clips adverts for season 2, we see Ruby and James all geared up for a wedding, which means that we can only predict there is going to be some form of a wedding, whether they end the season with them getting married, or they actually start the season with them getting married and then finding out about the kiss, because there's one clip that I've seen where James has a kiss on his cheek and he looks quite startled, which means that maybe they were planning on getting married or eloping, and then she finds out about the cheating kiss that he made when he was drunk. So there could be different nuances to how they play out the wedding, but there's definitely going to be some presence of a wedding.
Ooh, thank you. I've got a fake orchid over here, and Arthur's just pulled off the centre of one of them. Thank you very much.
Upon doing a little research on the actor's social media, we can expect a trip to Los Angeles in season 2. Maybe a reconciliation trip, maybe a runaway trip after Ruby gets kicked out. Who knows? But there's definitely going to be a little bit of LA in there.
So naturally, with Ruby and James having more issues, we can expect a deeper emotional and character development for both characters. So Ruby especially, she has to find more of herself in Maxton Hall. She's trying to understand her worth, not only there but in the world. And she has to reconcile things that she has learned about herself and her relationship with James, possibly facing new challenges in the social hierarchy. So now let's focus in on James. James has this massive internal struggle because his relationship with Ruby will evolve in season 2, and his own internal conflict about his family legacy, his personal desires will take centre stage, and the bond with his twin sister and loyalty to his family will clash with his growing feelings for Ruby. And this essentially leads for some very difficult choices. Then obviously we've got the actual twins and Lydia. So the twins' relationship will likely come under scrutiny. The dynamic between the two could evolve, with their shared family history, secrets driving a wedge between them, or conversely drawing them together as they confront their family's past. And I think, obviously I'm trying not to give away too much, but Lydia's pregnant, and I think the fact that she is pregnant will encourage James to take a step up into the responsibilities of protecting his sister, because they have this undeniable loyalty and connection to one another, and I think he's going to feel a certain protection over Lydia considering their mother's death, and the fact that he feels that he really has her best interest at heart, whereas the father, he really is only giving the vibe that he cares about the family's image, the Beaufort name, and making money. Love triangle possibility. As in many dramas involving forbidden or complicated romances, season 2 may deepen a love triangle. If the show follows the book's trajectory, expect new characters to enter the fold, causing further tension between Ruby and James and complicating their already very complicated dynamic. Yes, we have the main protagonist, but let's not forget about Cyril, a certain special Cyril, who was at the end of season 1 really loving the look of Lydia. He is very much in adoration for her and clearly has some sort of feelings for her. And I think what will probably happen is he will catch Mr. Sutton and Lydia in some form of an exchange where he feels very energetic about it, very passionate, and wants to do something. And if you remember towards the beginning of season 1, James, naughty James, took some cosy pictures between Mr. Sutton and Ruby. This will be Cyril's time for revenge, where he is able to resurface these images and use them to spite Mr. Sutton for getting too close to Lydia. Now, whether Cyril actually finds out the baby Lydia's carrying belongs to Mr. Sutton is a different question, but if it does all come out, that's going to spite Cyril even more. But I think where Cyril will definitely feel the fuel to the fire about avenging the lost possibility with Lydia is using these images of Ruby, and this will naturally play a massive part on Ruby's attendance at the school because she will likely get suspended. I don't know what the creative rights that Prime will follow with this, but if they really want to complicate and juice up the story, this will probably happen.
This may be a stretch, however, Cyril could actually end up being quite sweet and tender towards Lydia and actually step up as a potential stepfather for the baby, because who knows what will happen with Mr. Sutton, and who knows, maybe he could be spiteful towards him, but also very sweet and nurturing to Lydia.
I'm going to be really quick because I need to go, but I think they might also introduce some new characters because they do have the right to do that, and I think obviously with it being entertainment, they might introduce someone new, potentially more than someone new, and we don't know who that could be yet, but it's definitely something to contemplate on making the plot thicken. I've heard that they're going to really heighten up the footage between London and Berlin, so I really expect there to be an intense and very visual experience for the viewer, which is really exciting because they did so well with season 1, so I'm really excited for season 2. I really believe that Lydia will play such a prominent role in season 2 just because she's obviously quite central to the storyline being pregnant, and I think she's going to have a massive influence on James. Likewise, potentially we might see a friendship blossom between her and Ruby, or the opposite. We never know, but what I will predict is that it will highlight notes and themes of young motherhood, and this resonates with myself being a young mum and the challenges it faces, and hopefully will spread awareness about the different feelings and challenges that you do face as a young mum, especially as a girl, where a guy can sort of run free even if he is responsible and involved. He is not suffering the same way a girl does. I very much expect there to be more action-packed twists and turns compared to the book, just because obviously there needs to be some visual stimulation, and I think there will be some adaptations from the original series series in the books, just because you expect there to be more focus maybe on the tension, the kisses, the glares, the yearning. And you see it with all different types of movie adaptations, like Pride and Prejudice. If we watch the most famous one from 2005, with a lot of focus on the yearning, the looks, the tensions, the hands. Oh my gosh, in Maxton Hall season 1, the hand before her interview, he was so gentle, yet it meant so much. Oh, live for it. But anyways, I would love to hear your thoughts on Maxton Hall. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What did you think? What do you predict for season 2? I want to hear all about your thoughts. When it comes to this kind of stuff, the literature girl inside me just goes, ah, so excited. But yeah, please do tell me what you think. And if you liked this footage, please like, subscribe, and do give me a comment, or find me on other social media. I'd love to keep the chat going. And remember, we like kind chats. Anyone that's being negative, I will block and remove you.